Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get out, but I like cartoons. I like cartoons. I like cartoons. I love cartoons. Sister Renika, the other
Not
day.
so much.
Sister Renika the other day told me, because I watch cartoons all the time. She tells me sometimes, can we watch a big person's movie? Can we watch a grown-up movie? As a matter of fact, the other morning she got up, she said, tell me why both televisions were on cartoons.
With 4 grown adults in the house.
Watching cartoons. This particular cartoon that we woke up to was Cars. The movie Cars was on. And Cars is about vehicles, cars. And the one vehicle's name was Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen. He was the fastest car on the track. You know, every race they come to, he was winning the race. They would go around, the different cars would go around, and they would talk to each other, talk smack to each other. And they're like, well, Lightning, you're not going to win this time. And Lightning McQueen is like, yes, I am. I got you. And he takes off. You know, occasionally he would lose, but for the most part, he would win. He may have lost the race, but he was ahead in points. So time went on, and he was winning. He was winning. He would come against, you know, a new, younger car that hit the road. And in the middle of the race, it was close to the finish line. And he was driving along, he had taken the lead. Then all of a sudden, another car comes up, and his name was Jack Storm. Jack Storm. And on the back of his car said Storm. Now the storm is in front of him, and he's never experienced racing the storm.
Oh, I like that.
He's never experienced racing the storm. And he was wondering, where did this car come from? How did it pass me up? And when they interviewed the Storm, they was like, Storm, where did you come from? You was way in the pack. He was like, I was watching and sitting back to see what happens. So at the end, I went on through. And when the storm went through, it caused chaos on the track. Wrecks were happening. Cars were spinning out. And race after race, the storm would win. As a matter of fact, it messed Lightning McQueen up so bad that he hit the wall and he was injured. Not only was his car injured, not only was he injured physically, but mentally and emotionally, because of the storm, he couldn't handle the storm. So, because Lightning had his 95, he had the burn streaks on, he was pimped out, he looked good. But after the wreck, he was a mess. As a matter of fact, it messed him up so bad that after he was repaired, he changed his color to gray. He changed his color to gray, and he only had a 95 on the side. So that's how he felt because of the storm. Sometimes storms, if you're not ready, if you're in the storm and you're not used to losing and the storm comes by, it could cause you to forget who you are because you have wrecked. And you were not expecting the storm to beat you like that.
Come on.
So now you're in a situation because now you can't race because of fear. Because of fear of what happened. Now you're scared to get in the race. Because now not only were you damaged physically, you're damaged mentally, emotionally, spiritually damaged. And now you're sitting in the gray. You're lukewarm. Scared to get out on the track. Scared to get in the race. And his friend a couple of friends came along. One is named Mater. That's played by Larry the Cable Guy. You know, the one that says, get her done. And then his other friend, I can't think of her name, but she said, she goes in and talks to him. And the one thing she said to him, he says, I feel like a failure.
Well,
I feel like a failure. He said, I failed. She said to him, the only way you fail is if you don't try. The only way you fail is if you don't try. So he's getting his mind together. Feels like, okay, I need to go back and find my friend that poured into me. I need to go find some help. I need to go into training.
Well,
I need to reset my mind.
Come
I
on.
need to reset my thought process. I need to go get help.
come on.
We have to be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. After the storm
That's
has
it.
hit you and you've gone into a depression, you need
on.
to transform your thought
That's it. Come on.
process. And you need some friends on your side
That's it.
that can help motivate you and push you forward to get the help you need. Some people are in it for the season. Some people may not help
Say
you,
it.
be able to help
Say
you
it.
in that situation, but they can direct you to where you need to go
Come on.
to get the help that you need. So he goes to find a trainer. And the trainer he finds, her name is Cruz. Her name is Cruz, and she was a trainer. And she was training them. They had a simulator. They had the simulator, and that's the same thing that Storm was practicing on. He had a simulator, and that's what Lightning McQueen wanted to get on, was the simulator. So when he got there, he's watching her as she's training the other guys on the simulator. For them, it's like a treadmill. And she's like telling them what to do. So when he finally gets on the simulator, she takes him slow. And he's mad. He wants to go fast. He's like, turn it up. She's like, take it slow. You need to rest. You need to ease into it. You're older now. You can't just jump off into it. You got to ease into it. He's like, I want to go. He's looking at it because she had him on 5 miles per hour. And he's like, oh, I got to go faster. So she takes him off and she does some aerobics with him. She takes him and she has him going up and back, up and back. Sometimes you have to go forward and backwards to loosen up some things. You have to go down on your knees and get up to run.
Come on.
So she takes him through the training. He finds himself, he's mad, but when he gets on the simulator and she turns it up because he says, turn it up, turn it up. And when she turns it up, he can't handle the speed.
Well,
He can't handle the speed. So the unconventional ways of she's trying to take him, he's mad. He finds himself in a demolition derby where the cars wreck into each other doing a figure 8, and he gets all muddy. And they find out that it's Lightning McQueen, and he's mad because he's muddy. He's mad because he's dirty. But when the dirt is washed off of him, they're like, that's Lightning McQueen. They're reminding him of who he is. You may have been in a dirty situation.
All right.
You may have been messed up. But once the dirt is washed off,
Come
you
on.
realize who you
That's it.
are. They begin to encourage him and remind him of who he is. Sometimes you need to be reminded of who you are. The news, people, when they found out on the news, they begin to laugh at him. They begin to talk about him. There's going to be some times where people talk about you. They're going to criticize you. They're going to count you out as nothing. But just know underneath all the dirt and mess, who you are and what you can do. I'm almost done. So he's still upset. And he tells her, because he needs to do some real training, you don't know what it's like to run in a race. You don't know what it's like to win and then lose. She said, I had the opportunity to race, but when I got there, other cars were talking me out of it, said I didn't need to be there. I shouldn't be there. I'm not fast enough. I'm not good enough. I don't look good enough. They began to talk to her so bad that she dropped out of the race. She had the opportunity to race, but she didn't because of fear. And she told them, the reason why I wanted to race is because I saw you in the race. And I saw how fast you were going in the race. And I saw how you passed other people up, other cars up, and how you won time after time. You inspired me. And I find it to be a privilege to be able to train you. She was hurt because of what he said, and she drove off. But he went back to get her after a time. And he realized that, yes, I may be old, but I can still do it. So they went and trained. They went and trained. They went and trained. They went and trained. She was training him. So when it was time for the race, because the news kept saying it's a 95% chance that the Storm is going to win again. It's a 96% chance that the Storm is going to win. They kept giving Storm. They began to put out the percentage of the Storm. It's got a 95% chance of Storm. So they get in the race, and because he never got a chance to do his lap time, he had to start in the back of the race, in the back of the pack. Oh my God, as the race took off, he began to move forward. He had to inch himself forward slowly. In his training, the trainer told him to look and go through the open windows. Go through the open windows. That meant when the car slid past, you go through the open windows. God will open up a window and pour you out a blessing that there won't be room enough to receive. God will open up a window for you to go through in the time of need to get you ahead. He will give you that blessing. He will open that door. He will open that window to pour you out a blessing so that you can move to the front of the pack. So he got up to the 10th place. Storm is now scared, really. He's trying to talk to him and tell him that you're too old to race. You can't do it. You can't make it. You can't beat me. The enemy tries to get in your ear and tell you that you can't do it. So they come into the pit stop, and Cruz was there, and her owner said, you shouldn't be here. You don't deserve to be here. You're not a racer. So Lightning McQueen comes in and says, where's Cruz? He said, they told her she left. He said, get her back here because it's time for her to race. And her friend said, Lightning McQueen's friend said, this is your last chance of winning the race. He said, but this is my first chance of giving somebody else the opportunity to win the race, to put somebody else forward so that they can win. So they go get Cruz. He telephones Cruz and says, get back here. And they said, go get the tires. So they get the tires and they get ready to put them on Lightning McQueen. He said, no, put them on Cruz. It's her time to race. So she gets in there. She's like, I'm not a racer. I'm not a racer. He said, it is your time. It's your time. It's your time. I'm telling you, it's your time. It's your time. It's your time to get in the race. It's your time. It's your time. I've moved you to the front of the pack. I gave you what you need to win the race. I gave you what you need to take it off. I gave you what you need to come in first place. So as they're going through the race, I'm getting ready to get out of here. As they're going through the race, check this out. They're going around the track. And Storm's helper, Storm's trainer says, she's gaining on you. She's now in the race because only the number needed to be in there. He says, Cruz is in there. She doesn't need to be in here. She's not a racer. So he's taking off. And they go through, and she goes through a pit stop. He says, his trainer says, she's coming up on you. He says, I don't see her. He says, her trainer says, that's because she's right behind you. Because before, when she was racing, Storm actually backed up because she started gaining on him. He slowed down. The Storm slowed down. and began to talk to Cruz. Began to tell her, you can't beat me. You can't win. You're not going to beat me. I'm too fast for you. I'm too good. You don't deserve to be in this race. The enemy was slow down. And Lightning McQueen said, don't listen to him. He's trying to get in your head. So she starts slowing down, and the Storm takes off laughing. Goes back to the front of the pack. Lightning McQueen says, do you see what just happened? She said, yeah, he told me that I can't beat him. She said, Lightning McQueen said to her, he's afraid of you. He slowed down to talk to you. He slowed down to discourage you. He slowed down to try to speak negativity in you. Not because he's a winner, but because you're a winner. The enemy tries to stop you from getting out of bed. The enemy tries to stop you from giving God praise. Not because he's better than you are, but because he's scared of you. So as they go around the race, the tractor on the last lap, and he's looking for her, and she's in the back of Storm, right up against him. He said, I don't see her. She says, I'm right behind you. You can't beat me. You thought you was faster, but I'm right on your tail. Come on, Slowpoke. She began to give it to him. And at that time, he gets scared now. And he backs up and he tries to knock her off the track. Pushes her up against the wall. But watch what she does. She takes the wall and rolls up the wall and flips up over to win the race. Sometimes God has to take you up over the wall. He'll cause you to climb the wall. Can I get a witness in this place? When you're getting pushed up against the wall, just run up the side of the wall. Get around any way you can. Whatever it takes to get in front of the storm. Whatever you have to do, get in front of the storm. You are a winner in Christ Jesus.
That's it.
Don't let the storm take you out. You are more than a conqueror. You got God on your side. You can handle the pressure. Come on, give God a hand clap.